Hey guys, welcome back to some more AFK Arena. In today's video, we have another trait from Shazam. He's put together another guide, which is really nice. What he's done is analyzed all the victories from chapter 35:16 to 35:52 and put together the teams, the heroes that appear, and this is like completely end game. So this is like with the guys who have completed this stuff, like everything's maxed out. So they have pretty much open slather on what they want to use. Let's get into it. So like I said, the quick disclaimer, this is like complete endgame. So this is like, you're looking at most guys who complete this stuff having max gear, max signature items, max furniture, all that stuff. Like he says, it's from chapter 35:16 to 35:52. He does say that from 35:44 and earlier, there was more than 10 people, so it was just the ones that he could see, but past that it's only 10 people, so it's a very small pool of like complete end game. So these are the guys that pretty much know what they're doing, so hopefully we can get a fair image from that. If you're wondering how Rowan didn't appear, we'll go through these little things at the start. My head is blocking a bit of it. Let's just take my head out of the way so we can actually see this, and as you can see, the frame's in the way as well. There we go. He says, like, surprisingly, Rowan was not in every formation. In 35:32, round 5, Rowan was replaced by Mezoth. So that was like the one that Rowan wasn't used in, because I was surprised when he said that, because I was thinking that Rowan was going to be in everything, but he wasn't. So that's that little one. And down the bottom, big disclaimer down the bottom, like he says, please note, while this is an analysis of winning hero combinations, it is very endgame. This is not a definitive list. You know what I mean? Like, there's going to be better formations for different people. It's just, this is just a good analysis of the complete endgame, the furthest that people have got. So over here, we have appearances in every boss for the whole thing. We had Iron, Leica, Gwyneth, my girl, and obviously Taylene. Now, that was expected. I would have expected Rowan to be up there as well, but like I said, we had that one where he wasn't in. And you can basically just get a fair idea of what the absolute endgame guys are using in this. We'll go down to team compositions and stuff later, but it's a really nice breakdown to see that Iron, Gwyneth, and Leica, they're just really solid, and they work together as well. And then obviously Taylene can be used in anything, but in multi-formation battles, having a Gwyneth in there, you know, you can do like the Gwyneth Arthur team, and then you can have an Iron team separate, or you can do whatever you want. You can pair them up. It's just really nice. Then you have the 90 to 99%, the 60 to 89. One thing that I was looking at, he did have a note here about Damon, and Damon were only recently released, so they're likely to be underrepresented. Damon is one that I definitely think you'd see more of. However, like he said, they've only just been released, so some people may have cleared it before they had access to them. As you can see, Theon was in a little one. The one that interests me as well is the Isolde being in 0. I feel like this, people may have cleared this before Isolde with his furniture and signature item became a thing. I feel like Isolde's a really viable option now, and I reckon he would see some more play as we go further on when more people start using him. Yeah, okay, I hadn't read this note. This does not mean that Rain is better than Isolde, for example. This just means that for the campaign limit winning formation, these heroes weren't used. So Rain was in 1 to 9%, so obviously someone used Rain. That's a very interesting point. So yeah, just a good little representation. I was interested to see that Ezio was in a few of the teams as well, and I also thought Saurus would have been up a bit higher, but hey, that's where it lands. I really do enjoy the Saurus, but that's a pretty good representation. He splits up into factions, so obviously Celestial's dominating. Lightbearer's right up there with Hypergenes, and then we have Wilders as well, all at 18%. And then Graveborn, Dimensional, and Maulers sitting down there right firmly in the bottom. Then we go into teams. So the team compositions were interesting. Obviously at the top there, the first one there, we had the God Comp, which is really interesting. Interesting note that I didn't realize is that some people are using Khazard in that God Comp, like instead of the Taylene, which I always thought Taylene would have been necessary for the extra heals. And the really interesting thing is that the Rowan was at the top, so really interesting. Like, I thought Rowan would have been front row to heal more of the allies, but obviously the twins were surviving, and obviously Khazard in the back row against certain enemies, it was working. Then we have the Iron Leica comp, which is just really solid in itself. And then it had a bunch of different combinations. Obviously, you got things like the Zolrath combo, which is just amazing for that one in general. And then this next one was really interesting to me, seeing that Keltha get some play. Thorin paired with Flora appears in 85% of boss wins. The most common comp includes Keltha, Nara, Pharrell appearing 20% of the time. So that was really interesting to me. So if we go up here and see Keltha, if we can look at appearances for him, I'm just trying to find him up here. There he is. 60 to 89%. So that is really interesting that he's really found a place in that end game meta with the Flora on the team as well. And like I said, him and I feel like Theowen may creep into this type of team as well. The more people that do it, because she sort of synergizes with that type of team pretty well, and you are getting the 5-piece faction bonus for that one. And then next up we have the obvious Gwyneth comp, which is pretty standard. Good to see. I love seeing that Hendrick's getting used in that comp a lot more now. Originally people were saying that he wasn't too good, but this sort of demonstrates that he is typically taken in this team, and then you've got your sub out options for the rest of it. Ukyo getting a place in there. Interesting to see also Oscar. But yeah, Oscar 25% of the time, obviously there for his, I think it's his signature item, which is going to make him knock back enemies that enter into your side of the battlefield, just helping out with the Gwyneth altogether. And then we have the Khazad stall team, which is really interesting. Just to see the stall, you can use Khazad or Orthros. Like I said, these are endgame players using these, and this is when you have to make up those 5 teams. So he does do an example of the 5 formations, which is really, really nice. So basically in this, you have obviously God comp as one, you have the Iron comp as the second one, then you have the Thorin cheese. Well, it's not really a cheese, it's more of just a stall for Flora to deal damage type team. Then you got the Gwyneth team, and then you've got that leftover sort of stall team to finish it off. Really, really nice there. And then we move down here to basically the team summary. He does a really, really good summary of, if you're wondering how any of the teams work, it's really fantastic. So God Comp basically says that Tayleen's there to heal and deal damage. She just deals more damage as the battle goes. Due to her signature item, when she dies and comes back, she gets more defense, more attack. Also, she'll have Blade in most of these situations, so really nice. Then you've obviously got the Lockout with the Aziz, Twins, and Rowan cycling energy. You've also got the 2-piece Hypergene bonus in this, meaning you can get extra recovery, energy recovery. Obviously Aziz has his passive, and then you've also got the Mahira's whip, which is going to increase energy, haste and energy even more. And then you have the really good CC with Rowan and Mahira to be able to it's an amazing comp. I absolutely love the comp. It's absolutely amazing. Anyway, that's pretty much the gist of it. Lock them out, deal damage, heal up, just never die, and whittle them down. It's not the quickest team, but it is reliable. Then we have the next one, the Burst one, and he goes in to talk about Zolrath's furniture. Basically how it gives you a head start, so you can put Euron comfortably in the front row and he won't get interrupted. You've got Lawson there for the link. Obviously Leica with her furniture item at level 9, she's going to be dealing damage to 2 enemies, reducing defense as well. But with Euron's furniture, you're going to be ignoring the defense enemy anyway, so you've got a good chance to deal a good chunk of damage. Really, really nice. Then we jump into the Gwyneth comp, and it basically just talks about, Gwyneth with Rosaline is busted. I feel like with Gwyneth, you really want to, in this team, you need Gwyneth to be your most powerful so that Rosaline will follow her, because the damage buff from having someone, i.e. Rosaline, right next to Gwyneth is just huge, and I feel like it's almost mandatory to get her damage up high enough. Then you got the Hendrik for initial knockback, which is really nice, and then also the Oscar. He goes in to talk about, his signature item. He's going to knock back enemies that advance too far forward and just keep them out of the way for Gwyneth. So it's basically your core team with the Gwyneth is going to be your Arthur, Gwyneth, and Rosaline, and then the other 2 are just supports to help make the team work. For me, sometimes you can even throw in something like a Lawson to link damage and stuff like that, depending on the enemy composition. Then we go to the Thorin and Flora. Basically talks about how the Keltha and Nara are there to position things better for the Thorin cheese. The Pharrell is in there to basically reduce healing and reduce energy from the enemy so that Thorin can get to his cheese stage, but also reduce the recovery so that they're at lower health when you go to execute with the Thorin ultimate. And then Flora's there to basically focus aggro onto that Thorin, but also deal more damage to get them into the position where they can be cheesed easier, really nice. And then for the final team, we have the Orthros Khazard stall. Basically, the Orthros and Wukong can just stall for days. Wukong, obviously, with his clones, with his extra shields and all that stuff. Orthros is just like the absolute king of stall altogether. Then you have Tassie in there because she synergizes really well with the Khazard signature item, increasing the duration of those CCs. And then he goes on to state that the last position, you want some burst damage. He said Daemon can be used in that slot as well. But in this one, he does have the Athalia. The good thing about the Athalia is it does give you a 4-1 faction bonus, whereas the Daemon would be giving you a 3-1 faction bonus. So really nice there. I really do like the Khazard comp. It's a really cool, like, I just love the Khazard Tassie synergies, and then just using it with a straight up stall in the front. That team isn't going to be too effective against anything with snipers because it does lack healing for the Khazard, so if he gets damage, he's done. So you got to pick your enemies with that one. So that is going to be it for this one. I just thought it was a really nice truckload of work that went into this. For those, especially those looking at real endgame, it gives you a really good idea of 5 core comps that you can look towards. Obviously, there's a lot of Celestial Hybrid genes in these, but once you get to that chapter 35, I feel like it's going to be a little bit required. However, by the time a lot of us get there, maybe there'll be new heroes, new replacements from the normal factions that you can do, but it is going to take a long time. You'll probably get plenty of Stargaze through events by the time you get there anyway. But yeah, he's got all the raw data as well in the actual Reddit post, which will be linked in the description. So if you want to look at his raw data, you can check it out. He did do all this manually, so just the other thing, he apologizes if there was any mistakes. I wasn't going to fact check and look through the raw data. I'll back him on this one. Anyway, big shout out to Shazam for all this work. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you have an awesome day, and I look forward to seeing the next one. Cheers.